All right. So hopefully this is working. I've been just messing around with the software for a while and trying to get this mic to work. I've been losing my mind, basically trying to amp up the production value of this whole thing. So this will be the last Deep Purple video I do in a while. But it's in response to I saw a couple of guys, the Contrarians, and what's his name? Anyway, a couple of guys. I subscribed to the channels. I can never remember the names. They did this video of top 20 Steve Morse era songs from Deep Purple, and they're all good songs, but my pick were quite different from theirs, and I figure this is bound to get 5 views, and I'm going to run with it anyway. So, top 20 songs from the Steve Morse era. Steve Morse joined Deep Purple in 1994. So, Ritchie Blackmore quit in a huff in 1993, midway through a tour. And then Joe Satriani joined, and he stuck with them for about a year off and on so that they could live up to their obligations. And for whatever reason, he didn't continue with the band. I suspect he just didn't want to join the band. But they glossed over it and said he was, under contractual obligations and this kind of nonsense. But let's just face it, he didn't want to join the band. And in 1994, Steve Morse joined. And their first album was 1996, Perpendicular. And anyway, last year he had to retire from the band after like 28 years in the band, and he left an incredible catalog with the group. And so we're just going to walk through my top 20 picks of songs. I mean, on any given day, these could come or go, but on the day that I put this list together a couple of weeks ago, these were my top 20 picks. So, number 20, I Got Your Number. This is from 2003's Bananas. Bananas and Rapture of the Deep were both produced by Michael Bradford. And I don't know if it's the engineering or what happened, but both of them sounded kind of anemic. I don't know what it was, if it was in the mixing or the engineering, something. Now, mind you, Rapture of the Deep sounded the worst of the two, but Bananas was much better. That said, there were a number of good songs on each album. And I Got Your Number is my number 20 pick. Now we're moving on to number 19, Bananas. This is the title track off of 2003's Bananas. It's another good song. It has some really great, organ guitar dueling by Steve Morse and Don Airey. This is Don Airey's first album in the band. I've talked about this in other videos. I think, they were just feeling each other out at this point. But this is a great song, and check it out. Number 18, Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye. This is such a great song. Rapture of the Deep had a number of good songs, and I really like Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye. It has like a real like Bo Diddley rhythm to it, and it's just it's such a great song. The solos, the vibe, it has almost a post-apocalyptic feeling. It's old school rock, but it's really, really good. Number 17. What is this? Oh, Cascades, I'm Not Your Lover, from 1996's Perpendicular. This is probably the most 70s sounding of the Steve Morse era. One of them, in any case. And, to me, it does sound like something that could have been off, I don't know, Who Do You Think You Are? Who Do We Think We Are? From 73. But, oh boy, to me, this is... The mix is great. It's great to hear John Lord back on equal footing with the guitar, and the dueling, the guitar organ dueling is just fantastic. It's a great song. Yeah, I love it. Number 16. What is, because I put this presentation together yesterday. I don't remember what I did, but here we go. Oh, Fingers to the Bone. This is great. This is from 1998's Abandon. And I think this may be the only song off this album. I don't want to, like, spoiler alert, but this might be the only song off the album in my top 20. It's really great. It's jazzy. It's got a lot of texture. Again, I love the organ sound on this, and John Lord does a lovely piano solo in the middle. Really jazzy. Number 15. Weirdistan off of 2013's Now What? What a great song. Yeah, I love the vibe. I love the melody. Mind you, I think the sawtooth synth solo that Don Airey does in this is kind of harsh sounding. I would have chosen a different tone, I think, but still, I mean, it's really great. This was the first album they did with Don Airey, and I talked about this in other videos as well, but I absolutely love the albums they've done with him. And so this album, Where to Stand, is a great song. We're on to number 14. Oh, The Power of the Moon. Yes, that's off of 2020's Whoosh. And, oh, that's another great song. Very proggy. I can't even describe it, but it's just a proggy song, super dark, and I like where the band goes with it. The organ solo that Don Airey does in this is just crazy. I love it, and it's the highlight of the song for me. Number 13. Well, we're flying right through this, aren't we? Before Time Began. Yes, off of, I forgot to mention Rapture of the Deep was from 2005. Um, Great song. I think really with Rapture of the Deep, that's when Purple started to get back to their exploration that they did. Because, as I said before, too, they in my opinion, in any case, they kind of got locked in a box from 73 through till when Richie Blackmore left. It was Richie Blackmore's box, basically, that they got locked into. Not that they weren't all, like, a fantastic part of the band, but it was dominated by the Richie Blackmore formula. In any case, sort of started to break free of that, I think, with Rapture of the Deep in a positive way. I think they tried to break free of it with Bananas, but that was a lesser album. Rapture of the Deep was pretty good, and Before Time Began is a proggy song where they really stretch out. Love it. Number 12. Ooh, I can't wait. Oh, A Simple Song. That's the first track off of Now What? And it's got a real 80s vibe. Steve Morse really brought a lot of prog to the band. Don Airey certainly brought that as well. But the Steve Morse prog, well, I guess both of them, they sort of have an 80s vibe. And this song has an 80s vibe to me. It's super great song. It's nice to have the band loosen up and do something a little out of the ordinary for them. It starts off with this. It's the kickoff song on the album, the first track, and it begins really mellow versus like the thumping stuff that they'd always typically started off with. Let's go on to the next. Oh, number 11. Oh boy. Get Me Out of Here off of 2017's Infinite. Love this song. It was apparently, I think I remember reading somewhere where Roger Glover, when they were, off on their own just writing stuff, he had taken Ian Pace's drum track from, was a Body Line, the off of Now What, which is a great song. But I can't, the lyrics are unlistenable. I can't listen to the lyrics, which is a shame because musically I think it's a great song. In any case, Roger Glover was using that drum beat to jam along to, but he played it at half speed, and it became almost like a reggae beat, which is the groove for "Get Me Out of Here," and it's fantastic. I love it, and I believe that if I remember the pictures in it, the inner sleeve of the album, there's a picture of Ian Pace's drum kit in a like a I don't know, like a room, a room with like stones on the wall for like a really slappy sound. And it would not surprise me if that was for this song. Great song. Number 10. Time for Bedlam. Yeah. Now this is again off Infinite, the first track on the album, and it's the most not stereotypically Deep Purple, but it is a very big throwback to their 70s sound, almost like a kind of a shuffly beat, Pictures of Home, if you can imagine that, but a little more thumping. And again, Don Airey's keyboards are crazy good on this. It's a great song. Number 9. Can you feel the tension building? I mean, I am sure you're on the edge of your seat here. The Perpendicular Waltz. Yes. Off of, again, Perpendicular. And, of course, it's in reference to the album, I think. There's always been a few Gillan's always been playful with his words. Sometimes, more than sometimes, but, they can be slightly off-putting. But in any case, this song is really great. It's a smoky, jazzy, bluesy song, and I love it. Just love that song. Number 8. Yeah, that's right. Step by Step off of Bush. Yeah. I think I got that mixed up. I think I got Don Airey's keyboard solo on this mixed up with the previous song, Power of the Moon. Step by Step. This has the crazy keyboard solo I was talking about, and I absolutely love it. And it's the keyboard solo is the highlight of this song, not the other one. Not that the keyboards aren't great on that, but the keyboard solo on the song is standout. Tremendous stuff. I think it's maybe a 3/4 song as well, like a waltz type of vibe. Number 7. Rapture of the Deep. Yes, the title track from Rapture of the Deep. I don't know what is. The title tracks can be pretty good. They played this in concert for years and years and years, and it was always a standout song. And saw them play it in 2012. It's just a great song, and it just grew into this behemoth of a performance. Great track. Number 6. Above and Beyond. Yeah, off of Now What? You'll note that a lot of this stuff trends towards some more recent albums, and that's because I love them. Above and Beyond was, that was written, dedicated to John Lord at the time, and great stuff, an unusual rhythm for the band, an unusual pattern, and definitely Steve Morse written all over it. Very proggy and very enjoyable. Number 5. Birds of Prey. What can I say? I mean, this is really great. I love watching the documentary that came with the album, too, on the recording of this, and just this Steve Morse's building beautiful glissando guitar solo. It's just great. It's such a great song. Very atmospheric and a great song, and another great keyboard solo by Don Airey. Number 4. Yeah, are you giddy? Oh yeah, that's right. Uncommon Man. Yeah, that's another good one. Another song dedicated to John Lord. Definitely more lyrically pointed towards him versus, I think, Above and Beyond was a reflection on life lyrically versus Uncommon Man was definitely more about John Lord. And I love this track. Very proggy, great theme by Don Airy. Excellent. Number 3. Oh boy. Sometimes I Feel Like Screaming from Perpendicular. Yeah, it's definitely a song of its time, but it was such a great song, completely out of character for Purple in '96. And that was the thing that was appealing about Perpendicular, that it was a lot of it was just fun and a breath of fresh air after sort of this dense phase that they went through. We'll leave it at that. I feel they built on this and improved on it in subsequent albums. But that said, Sometimes I Feel Like Screaming is a bit of a classic. Great riff and great vocal performance, great vibe. It's of its time, but it's wonderful. Number 2, Nothing at All. Yeah, also off Whoosh, and that's great. Great lyrics, and very sad. It's got a '70s vibe, definitely, and I really love Don Airy's work on this. Great organ solo, and quoting Bach. It's wonderful. Um, yeah, great song. And then number 1, ooh, The Surprising. Such a great proggy. I don't like to use the word epic because it seems like every white dude over the age of 40 uses the word epic incorrectly. But this is such a broad song. It goes all over the place. It really does take you on a journey. And I love it. And I do feel this is sort of the pinnacle of the. And I mean, I don't mean this is of the Steve Morse era, but I mean, it's also Don Airy. There's a strong overlap between the two. So don't underestimate his input. It's a real, well, it's a band collaboration. But in any case, this is a great song, and it is currently my favorite of the last 25 years. So there you go. I have trying to improve the production quality on some of this stuff. So I'm going to be getting back down to some of the top down videos in the coming days or weeks. I like to do when the inspiration hits. Obviously, I'm not doing this for views, but yeah, I'm rambling here. Anyway, hope you like the top 20. Bye.